and we tend to see things from our perspective using the measurements of this life. The true success is here and there. The limited success is here, and this is najah, but not falah. What is the reason for that? The reason for all of that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, simply Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being with you or abandoning you. This is the very bottom of it. وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. One of the prophets in the Quran, he said, my success is only through Allah, from Him and through Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that gives us the tafsir or the interpretation of a lot of things that's not easy for us to understand. Why somebody is drowned in sin and somebody is fully directed to Allah and guided by Allah and he loves to go this way. Why somebody is A to Z after his shahawat and fulfilling his desires, even though the information of the knowledge is there, even though he might know the entire Quran, even though, but his heart is not directed this way. When someone else that could be born to a non-Muslim father and mother and went through everything, but yet he or she decides to accept Islam, the answer is here. What is in this heart and what is the direction of the heart, and whether Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with the person giving him tawfiq or not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created the hearts of the human being, He created them just like He created everything. Take the earth or the different kinds of soils as an example. Some soils are fertile. They accept the water that comes to them, and if you put a seed in them, they will grow. Some other soils or some other pieces of land that will be rocky, that will not be fertile. So are the human beings. يَتَنَوَّعُونَ. We see the variety of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jamadat, or the solid objects, are completely different from animals in the way they accept things, in the way they deal with everything around them. Animals are a little higher, but then we have the human beings. And then not all animals are at the same levels. You have some animals that are a little bit smarter, some animals that you can train them, and some animals are in the lower level. Human beings are likewise, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them مختلف الألوان ومن الناس والدواب والأنعام مختلف الألوان كذلك. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides to give guidance and be by the side of somebody, then this is an ultimate ni'mah, a mere ni'mah from Allah, a mere favor from Allah, an exclusive favor from Allah. Nobody deserves anything in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody like you can, in such a way that if Allah does not give you Islam, or Allah does not give you health, or Allah does not give you money, that you say, why didn't you give it to me, O Allah? In the same way, you have money, I might be in need, I come to ask you. If you give me, it's an ultimate fadl from you, it's an ultimate favor from you. If you do not give me, I'm not in any position to, say anything I don't deserve to give. So if you give in charity, it's mainly and merely from you. If Allah gives anybody any kind of ni'mah, it is from Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Understanding this, we will see how Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, even though he is promised Jannah, he is promised forgiveness of all sins, he is, yet he is still praying all night long. And when he is questioned, when he was asked about it, he said, أَفَلَا أُحِبُّ أَنْ أَكُونَ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Shouldn't I love to be a grateful person in return of all of these blessings from Allah that I do not deserve? He means to say that I do not deserve. In the face of all of that, in return of all of that, shouldn't I be abdan shakura? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this should be the point that we need to really struggle for. To be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and have the tawfiq from Allah. Allah is teaching us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is educating us to say in every ibadah, in every rak'ah, ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Ya Rabb, oh Allah, guide us. Which means, be with us, show us the direction, and give us power to always keep guiding us in every single rak'ah. What is the interpretation of sin? Why somebody would go sinning against the will of Allah? It's not because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pushes him to, it's simply because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يُخَلِّ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ نَفْسِهِ. He leaves him, he abandons him for himself. The minute the person is being left for himself, and again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can leave somebody and direct somebody, this is something He decides subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if that person is left for himself, he is by default misguided. He is going the wrong way. But he still can call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give direction to his heart. This connection is not only for Muslims, it's not only for Salihun. This connection is for everybody if they decide to do it. Connection of dua. If a non-Muslim, if the worst of people ask Allah for guidance, Allah would not prevent him from that. So the point is, keep that line always open with Allah. And call on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you the ni'am al-raghabat or the fulfilling our desires. Give me money, give me these things that we like in this life. Yes, He can give it. But without you asking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no other way that you can get it. And keeping what you have is also by asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and going through Him. And thinking that what you have and what you will be given is only and exclusively from Him. Having the approach of Qarun, that I take it because I deserve it, the person that we just recited about him, when he got a lot of money, Allah gave him a lot of money, and he said, I have been giving that ala ilm because of me. It's because of me. It's not because of anything. I deserve it. Having this very attitude, that is the recipe of failure. And having the recipe of success is like Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam, being given a nubuwwah, prophethood, and a mulk. And in the face of all of that, he stood very humbly to say what? قال هذا من فضل ربي ليبلوني أأشكر أم أكفر. This is merely completely a favor from my Lord to test me, to see if I'm going to give thanks, or I will fail to give thanks, or I will deny it. So let's accept the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing that it is from Him, not because we deserve it or it's from us or anything. Accept it and enjoy it and share it with others and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what we have. That way we will continue to be blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all dimensions. But if we trust only ourselves and our directions and our ways, we will be left for ourselves. We left for ourselves, we are gone astray. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide our hearts and give us always direction.